everyone. I hope you're all doing great. We're currently at the last day of the European SharePoint conference in Copenhagen, and we're at the Valo booth with dear Vesa, or Vesa Juvonen. I'm sorry, it's really hard not to, especially with the t-shirt now.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, it's fine. Thank you for the t-shirt.
How are you doing so far? How are you enjoying the conference?
Really, enormously. This has been a nice to see the excitement around the SharePoint. This is really, it's the renaissance of SharePoint actually, for SharePoint development and for the experiences as well.
It definitely changed a lot and it's evolving really fast.
Yeah, it is.
For those of you, maybe more business-focused people that don't necessarily know all of the stuff you do, what do you actually do at Microsoft?
Yep. So I've started in Microsoft 12 years ago, but now I'm in the engineering team, so I'm responsible of the developer ecosystem, community, samples, documentation. So if there's any documentation gaps or an API descriptions missing, that's all on me. So that's my job. So not necessarily on the end user or an architect side of the thing, more on the development side. But I used to be a consultant building intranets for our customers before moving to the engineering as well.
So you know a bit of the real life, what actually happens.
Yeah, I've been there. Yes.
Okay, so I'll start with a bit of more tougher questions.
Sure.
When Microsoft released Modern, it's been what, 3 years ago in San Francisco at May the 4th. They showed off Modern, lots of marketing budget on it. People tried it, and it was alpha because people are not really used to the new way of we'll ship it bit by bit.
Yeah.
People tried it, they were kind of disappointed, and Classic was still popular.
Yep.
Now we're 3 years later, we now have hub sites, com sites, site design, site scripts. It evolved a lot.
Yep.
Do you think that Modern SharePoint is ready for the enterprise today?
So for me, I would say that with Ignite releases and everything what was said in Ignite, it really is now coming together. Sure, there's still certain scenarios and certain exceptions which are still in a Classic, but after Ignite and after the stuff which we've been releasing within the last year, I would say it's ready for primetime. It's like, why wouldn't you go Modern? And if there's any reasons why you wouldn't, please tell us, so we're able to actually address that.
So if a customer starts a new project today, they should go on Modern.
Absolutely, that's where we're investing. Now, when you think about the Classic, we released Classics 2012. It's now 6 years since that experience, and sure, it took a while for us to come up with a modern experience. Now, like you said, initially it wasn't complete, but that's the way we actually want to release stuff. We want to give the experience for the audience and get the feedback back, and then we fix those gaps which are missing.
I think that's just one of the first times Microsoft, well, at least the SharePoint team ever did that. So that's why I think it was a huge change for the community.
And it's much better to do it this way rather than wait again 3 years and come with a big bang and then customers come back and saying, this isn't what we were expecting. So it's rather to get the feedback in, adjust that, and then release bit by bit additional capabilities. Much better.
Another question, you said that you've been working on intranets back when you were a consultant.
Or .com sites as well.
.com. That's a bit before my time, I'll just leave it at that. You guys recently, I think it was in the May conference in Vegas, you released the SharePoint Starter Kit.
Correct.
Which is kind of a starting point with a lot more features than what, not necessarily a lot, but not something you can necessarily do with point and click in communication sites. Can you tell us a bit more about that project and where do you guys place that project in the Microsoft offering?
So for us, the SharePoint Starter Kit actually started as an idea of a lot of the customers are actually having the discussions with their management and decision makers, or decision makers, on the fact that should we go Modern or not? And then the question is, immediately the follow-up question is, okay, can I try the Modern? Can I play around with that? Can I see what's possible also from a development perspective, extensibility? So the Starter Kit was really an initiative to get a demo, get a example of what you can do with Modern for anybody to get started. And then on top of that, you can then adjust your own business requirements or take advantage of partners like Valo to add on value on what you're getting. But Starter Kit's point is really to demonstrate what's possible.
So it's more like of an art of the possible. Here's a quick thing, here's a quick intranet, what we did in a day, play with it and tell me what you think. And it's open source, right?
Yes, it is.
So people can get the code, modify it as they want.
Well, yeah, they can use that, they can get the code, they can see how the provisioning works, which is a big thing as well. How do you get all of that stuff automatically available in your tenant? And it's MIT licensed. It's all for anybody to take advantage. So.
And that's actually been another change that Microsoft did over the last 2 or 3 years, going fully open source.
Yeah.
The community and MVP seems to have all embraced it, they're all happy about it, and we can finally fix a lot of the bugs ourselves. How about more secured environments? I remember the first time, when I was still a consultant before joining Valo, I was doing a SharePoint 2016 project for a highly secure environment. And all of the MIM agents for the user profile sync were on GitHub, not on the Microsoft Download Center. So we get in, final step of the project, should only take 1 day to set up everything. Then they tell me, ooh, it's on GitHub. We need to get all of the 800 lines of XML reviewed by our security department. Do you think over the last 3 years this has changed because Microsoft is going there? Do you think that even more secure enterprises are embracing and seeing the advantage of open source?
Absolutely, because open source is the way we build together with community valuable add-ons and valuable capabilities, and that's also a way for us getting feedback on what we're doing. Now, embracing the open source in Microsoft, well, I started 12 years ago in Microsoft, and it's completely different. And it is a new thing, and it changes the ball game completely. And I think even at the enterprise level, people are starting to think that, okay, maybe the fact that Microsoft is doing this, Microsoft is still coordinating and validating the open source stuff as well, I could take advantage of that. Now, if anybody has any concerns, that's why we have partners. That's why we have ISVs and partners and system integrators who can take the open source solutions and then provide support on top of that.
And give a product.
Give a product on top of that and support and SLAs and everything else. But we want to give those starting points so that the community can build their stuff on top of it.
Awesome. And back to your consultant life again.
Yeah.
You probably made a ton of money doing custom intranets. No, okay, maybe not you, the company, doing custom intranets.
Fair point.
Because when we're talking about 2007, 2010, every company wanted to have that 100%. Let's get an army of 50 developers in for 1 year. We're going to build our custom intranet, which is pixel perfect. And then in 3 years, we're like, well, we need to get them all back to actually migrate.
We do whatever the massive investments and everything else. I think the ball game has completely changed. So as we do constant evolvement and constant agile way of adding new capabilities, the companies can no longer kind of stay stable. It's not about investing, let's say, 500,000 to an intranet and then wait 3 years to get the value back on that. That's not how people work anymore. That's not how the IT works in general anymore. I would say that everybody should be embracing the fact that you're getting more and more every single day. As long as you follow up on our guidance, your intranet will evolve together with our ecosystem. And the kind of not blocking the additional things like we did in the past. Embracing the fact that there's new functionalities, and when Microsoft explains something in Ignite, in 2 months it will be in your tenant. It's awesome, and as long as the companies like Valo are doing their implementations and customizations in the right way, everybody will get those functionalities into their tenants as soon as they're actually deployed.
Other than that, if, like say again, as a consultant, I come from the consultant space as well, what other advice would you give a company looking to buy an intranet product? What should they look at when they compare product? What is important? What do you think is important for you?
So absolutely, the modern experience is everything right now, because we as a Microsoft, we build everything in modern. We built inside of engineering, we use SharePoint framework. We built everything in the modern experiences. So why would you invest on a classic model? You shouldn't. That's evident that the modern is the future. The second thing is being kind of a future-proven in a customization, so not blocking the innovation what Microsoft does, rather expand on top of it, add-ons on top of that stuff. So because that really brings value for the customers, so that they get what we do, and then whatever the partners are doing is value added on top of that. Yes.
Awesome. Well, that is it. I know you're a pretty busy man, so I will let you go back. Thank you very much for taking the time, and let's go to the sauna.
Thank you.
Thank you.